This is Shelby Starnes for RxMuscle.com. I'm here with Chris Aceto. We just witnessed the 2010 IFBB Pro John Simmons 202 show. Watched the finals, and we're going to do the wrap-up. Chris, tell me about your recent experience at the 202.
This was, I thought, a real competitive show. I've been to a few 202 shows this year, and it was the one with the greatest amount of competitors and the greatest amount of depth. Top 5 here were better than top 5 in Tampa, and the other shows at top 5 in Phoenix. So a lot of depth, a lot of quality. 202s just keep getting better.
5th place is one of your athletes, a new pro, PD Devers. What did you like? What did you guys do differently between North Americans and now, and what did you see today that you think can be improved on?
Well, of course, PD got the shaft. I'm just kidding. Actually, I wanted to say honorable mention before we get started. There was a guy from Canada. His name was Maboye. He was Maboya, and I don't know what happened to him. If you anyone look at pictures, he was. They use the word overlooked. I use the word shafted. He should be, disappointed tonight. And
yeah, he was in the final call out, and it was just he stuck out like a sore thumb. It was like that guy should have been top 10 for sure.
Yeah, for sure. But anyways, on to PD. I wanted to mention that PD looked good, and he just tightened up a little bit since North America. Obviously, it's professionals, not the NPC. Better guys, better quality, depth. And he was good here, and I thought, 4th, 5th, 6th, somewhere in there. That's a placing, I thought.
Now, Lawrence Hunt was kind of the dark horse going into this, and after prejudging, we thought Lawrence and PD might kind of swap places. I think Lawrence probably ended up in 6th. We don't know at this point. What do you like about Lawrence?
The condition, the maturity. I mean, if you break it down, he had more density and maturity than anyone in the top 5.
And he's probably the oldest guy on stage. He's about 49, I believe. He trains at my gym sometimes.
Yeah, I think what hurt him in the end was just, the shape.
He also hides himself in a lot of poses. I think he really needs to work on that. In his front relaxed, he keeps his arms narrow. In his rear shots, a lot of times he hides his physique. You almost have to look to see how great he is. During his initial routine, you can pick up on the strong points, but when he's standing next to everybody, he's not doing things to make himself stand out. You have to look for his physique, if that makes any sense.
No, it makes sense, but regardless, he had the condition, and that was, as hard as this wall. So he looked great. And at 49, he's amazing.
Yeah, just a few tweaks, and I think he's got a top 5 spot for sure.
Absolutely, for sure.
4th place went to Mark Dugdale. Probably a somewhat controversial placing. Mark hasn't been on stage since last year's Olympia and was probably hoping to get a fairly easy qualification today and ride into the Olympia next weekend. Unfortunately, he didn't get that. And it looks like his conditioning today was a little bit off, like he was maybe holding something so he could, peak for next week. Maybe he didn't dry out fully. What was your opinion of Mark?
It's not the Dugdale that I'm used to. I'm used to 202s last year when he arguably could have placed much higher than 4th. He looked like he carved up on cement, and this time around he looked like he carved up on water. So, he shouldn't be down because he's a guy who this 202 is made for someone like him. He's packed with muscle. He's a great bodybuilder. He can beat a lot of guys in the open class, and he has done that. So, he must be down tonight, and justifiably so. But he's got to look ahead and not back.
3rd place went to Tricky Jackson, a guy that we've seen already compete a few times this year. So Tricky has sealed his spot again to go to the Olympia. What do you like about Tricky?
That he's tricky. He comes out and by himself, there's no way I would have him top 3. He just doesn't look like he...
I wonder how close he is to the weight limit. He's probably not pushing it. He's probably in the low 90s.
No, I have no idea, but he doesn't look big by himself. But when he gets next to the other people, he looks big. And, what I thought of is, people compare him to Dexter Jackson, his shape and so forth. And if he can get 3rd here, I don't know what that says about next week for Dexter. But you probably can't count Dexter out because it's the same scenario. How good is he by himself? You can say, well, he needs more size, he needs more this. But when they get up against other guys, they can hold their own and more.
2nd place, Daryl G. guy that won his pro card as a middleweight last year. Did very well last year at the his first 202 show and also the Olympia. Came here today and kind of wowed some people, kind of shocked some people, obviously upset some people, beat Dugdale and some other guys like that. A guy I heard he weighed in at 185, so he's a guy I think has a real good future in this division because he's awesome, he's doing well, and he can still add 15 pounds to his physique.
Yeah, he got second based on his density and his condition. You know, he's got dense pecs, dense shoulders. His legs got kind of like they need some type of shape or sweep to him or whatever, but they're dense and hard, and, he's good. He's very good.
And then, of course, the winner, Stan McQuay, a guy that apparently weighed in close to the limit, upper 190s, but looks on stage like he's probably 15 to 20 pounds heavier than everyone, which is interesting because he's one of the tallest guys on stage, which normally would thin someone out. But for him, it does the opposite. He just looks like he's in a totally different weight class.
Never crossed my mind that he'd be first. Because for the same reason, 200 pounds, he's tall. You'd think that he's going to be skinny on stage. Complete opposite. Very impressive. Really good shape. And the front lat spread, he looks huge compared to some of the guys. Standing relaxed, he looks huge. And he looks broad, and he's got a good package, and he deserved to win.
Needs to be a little bit tighter in the lower back, hams, and glutes, but obviously it was enough to cinch the win here. How do you think he's going to do at the Olympia?
It's clinched the win, right?
Yeah, I dropped it's a silent L.
He at the Olympia, all these guys at the Olympia, you know what? The irony is this. If Dugdale goes, if they give him the qualification and somehow he tightens up like he can tighten up, he will wax these guys who are in this show.
Real quick, do you think Dugdale was just holding water today, or was it more than water? Because I think it was more than water.
I think it was more than water, but you don't know with people. Some people, water looks awful, a lot like fat under the lights. So, I'm putting it in the context of this is if he is qualified and, how will these guys do next week who are qualified? It's a tough show next week.
Do you stay in the top 5?
I don't see him in the top 4. I can't think of who the top 4.
Flex Lewis might be there. I don't know if Flex is requalified.
No, I don't think he's doing it, but you have the top 3 remaining from last year, plus Jose Raymond. There's a 4 on the lock, meaning they got more muscle, more density, more everything. So maybe he's going to, get in there in 5th. He may get called out, and he'll look good because of his, structure and his width. And I mean, he's good, but I think he still needs to work on. He just needs more time because there's nothing he really needs to work on.
Yeah, and I think he can still add another probably 5 to 8 pounds and still be a 202 guy. And imagine 5 to 8 pounds on a physique that already looks 15 to 20 pounds heavier than everybody else. That's just going to be, as you say, retarded. Yeah,
if he adds 5 pounds, he will be doubly mentally retarded because he will be dangerous. Because I can't believe he actually makes 202 based on the height and the width. And
he was like 199 or something.
Yeah, he's impressive. Good.
2 weeks out, he was 202.
He'll do good next week, and congratulations to him.
All right, well, we'll find out how things play out next week at the Olympia in Vegas. For now, I'm Shelby Starnes with Chris Aceto, rxmuscle.com.